Mic check, 1 2 3. Checking that mic, checking that mic. All right, sorry if you guys could hear me drinking things in the background. It's live and stuff. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'm going to be updating the workflow for Blender 2.8 from Marvelous to Blender 2.8 on the Retopology. So I had done a video a long while back. Let me find it. On how to do this in Blender. Of course, it was over a year ago. So I made this video here on how to do this inside, to take what you make in Marvelous Designer and then take it and bring it into uh, Blender, basically. And then to take it from Blender to ZBrush or wherever you do your retopology at. It don't have to leave Blender at all. But this is an easy way to retopologize your mesh from Blender, right, to um, to get everything looking good. So when you export from Marvelous Designer, uh, it's in tries. Now they do got a new conversion type retopo type deal inside of Marvelous Designer 8. But in my experience, it don't work very well. So I'm just going to stick to the old workflow. Now, for the most part, this video right here still pertain to Blender 2.8. But we got collections and we don't have the layer system anymore and things of that nature. So I just thought I would go over the video and show you guys. So let me check out something real quick. I gotta make sure that my mic isn't cutting in and out. I had to turn the volume up so I could hear myself. I think I fixed it last time, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, that seems to be good. So I already, this isn't nothing fancy or anything like that. So I haven't even put this one all together. So I got a pillow and just a blanket here. So for a video example, yeah, I'm going simple. Maybe sometime down the road or something, I will do um, more of a complex mesh. But the last video that I made, it was with a complex mesh. But it's the same thing. Now, when I look at this video here, let me go ahead and find it. There was some questions somewheres. Let's see. I'm sorry. Where's it at? Let's see. YouTube doing it with 3ds Max and MD. Got it. Artem Gold level. Well, YouTube doesn't always give me all the comments for some reason. So I thanks for suggesting that guy. I'll go ahead and put him in here, and I'll look at him. It's like he's got a lot of nice stuff, but I'll look at him anyways. That's not the point of this video. Let's see here. There are some questions. At least I thought. So there's some people that's saying that Zremesher isn't accurate. Um, Now, if you got ZBrush 2019 or whatever, which I do suggest to a lot of people, I know a lot of people hate subscriptions, but they do have a subscription model nowadays, and it makes things at least more accessible. So if you don't have $800 to fork out up front, and you just need ZBrush for a little while to say make your clothes or whatever, you just go and pay them 40 bucks or whatever it is, and you know what I mean? And then you'll have ZBrush, and then you just tell them that you don't want to pay it no more, and everything you made while you paid is yours. So, anyways, Zremesher got a total overhaul, and I don't know. Everybody's got their own preferences on remeshing. Um, so, for a quick fix on a lot of things, especially on some flat planes or whatever, Zremesher works just fine for me. But if it requires, like, if it's going to be animated and things of that nature, yeah, I'll go in and I will rehand topo things. But with my workflow, I like to get things done quick because I like to see it quick because I stick it inside the game engine and I want to see how it looks like in game. And then after that stage, then I'll go back and retopo it and things of that nature. But if you're doing things like I'm doing here, like bedding and things of that nature, um, Zremesh is just fine. But these are just flat planes, so doing it by hand shouldn't take you very long either. So if I turn some of this stuff off here, let's see, where's the flat stuff? So I've turned the flat high off and the comfort flat high. So, and we come over here and we turn wireframes on. So I just went through and I Z-remeshed this really quick. And this will be just fine for right now. So I'm not making things for movies or things of that nature. Now, if I was making a trailer for the game or something, take it in game, yes, I will do more high poly stuff and do different type of retopology, probably. But this is just for game, and this is going to be converted into tries anyways. And so this works out just fine for betting and things of that nature. But so we'll go ahead and go through this process of how you get your stuff to conform to the shapes inside of Marvelous. I'm sorry, inside of Blender 2.8. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn this stuff off. See, we got pillow height. Let's go. Let's do the pillow first. So go ahead and turn off wireframes again. So I'm gonna click on the pillow flat high geometry, right? So the way you do that is you go into Marvelous Designer and you select your mesh and you go ahead and you file and you export your high poly already conformed geometry, right? So you export this, then you will want to come back and you'll want to reset the 2D arrangement, and you'll want to select these and you'll want to go to File, Export, OBJ selected. And when you do that, you make a file name, testy, and press save. When we come here, we want it to be unwelded thin unified UV coordinates. I leave it on millimeters and then press OK. And that's how I got the high poly flat geometry, because we need the high poly flat geometry and the conformed mesh. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this high poly data and we're going to go into the shape keys. And I'm going to make the basis of the shape keys off of this high poly flat geometry. Then I'm going to come down here and select the pillow and then select the high poly mesh again, the flat mesh, sorry. And then I'm going to click on this little arrow and I'm going to click on join as shapes. All right, so let me go ahead and turn off the pillow and make sure that we're selected here. And then I'm going to go down to this shape key down here and I'm going to click on the value. And you'll see that it conforms that pillow to how it looked. And the geometry is low. Well, this is the high poly geometry, but what I'm saying here, it looks just like the other pillow, right? So we'll go ahead and turn off wireframe again. And then I'm going to answer my phone real quick. Give me just 1 second. Alrighty, sorry about that, guys. I had a important phone call I had to take. I couldn't miss it, so I am done. So now we got this high poly flat mesh conform to that. So, and that's with the shape key. All right, so we're going to go ahead and turn this off, and we are going to do the comforter or high flat in the same manner. So we're going to click on the flat geometry, high poly geometry, and we're going to create a basis. Then we're going to click on the high poly blanket, and then we're going to click back on the high poly flat. And then we are going to click this little arrow down and click join as shapes. And then I will go ahead and turn off the comforter high. Click back on this shape key here. And then we will go to the value and we will turn it down. And then there you go. You see we got it conforming there. So we'll just go ahead and turn that back on and turn this back on. Then the pillow high, we'll go ahead and click on and we'll reset the shape key for that. And so we got all that going there. So what you'd want to do after you exported your flat geometry out of Marvelous Designer, you would want to come with this high poly stuff, and you'd want to come in here and you'd want to retopologize this. And with stuff like this would be as easy as pressing Shift A, mesh, and just adding a plane, and then scaling the plane up and making it match this or this, and then just adding some subdivisions. So like I said, you just add a plane here, scale this guy up, and we can rotate him on the x-axis by 90 degrees here. And then we could just go ahead and grab him, bring him over here. And then you can come into edit mode here. And you could just go ahead and size it. And you could turn on X-ray for this if you need it. I'm just pressing G and then X to move it. And there you go. And it looks like the right size. And then we could just go ahead and press Control R. And we could just add some loop cuts here. However many you'd like. Keep it uniform if you'd want. And just make some squares. And there you go. You got one retopologized. So on flat geometry like this, it's fairly easy to retopologize this stuff. You don't need to go into Zremesher or you don't need to go into 3D code or anything like that. You can stick straight to Blender. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that one because I already have some here. So I got the low, and then I got for the pillow also. So what we want to go ahead and do here is, let me go ahead and turn off some of this stuff. And I'm going to click on this comforter flat low. And I'm going to come over here to my modifiers. And I'm going to add a modifier. And what we want to click on is surface deform. Right? And we are going to make the target the comforter flat high. Right? So we want to target our high poly flat mesh. Right? And I'm going to turn the interpolation fall off to 16, just like I did before, and I'm going to click on bind. So now this mesh right here, if I turn on wireframe, this is the low poly, right? So what this is going to do is this is going to conform with our high poly flat geometry, right? So the shape keys worked for the other geometry, but now the shape keys require each geometry that you're going to make a shape out of, it needs to have the same vert count. So what we did was we did the comforter low, right? But we changed the geometry. So there's not as many verts in this as there was with the high poly stuff. So we can't go and add a shape key to this, to the other comforter itself. It won't work because there's just not enough vertices. So we have to come and find a way, which this surface deform right here is awesome, right? So inside of Maya, they have the basically the same thing. It copies the mesh attributes or whatever, and you can put it onto these. So I'm going to go back to this comforter flat high here, and I'm going to select that, and I'm going to come back over here to the shape keys, and I'm going to move the shape key, right? And so now you'll see, once I turn the comforter flat high off, you'll see that our other geometry conformed into the mesh that we wanted. So if I go ahead and shade smooth this and turn off the wireframes, you'll see that of course it don't look like the high poly stuff, but you know, with normal mapping and AO and all that good stuff, we can make this look good. So you could also do this if you want to go ahead and sculpt on a lower geometry that aren't tries. But if you want to go ahead and sculpt more things, I would suggest you to go, you know what I mean, to the comforter high and then sculpt on this stuff right here. And then turn around and take your flat geometry and do it all again. But this is just an example to show you how to do it in Blender 2.8. It's pretty much the same process, but I just wanted to do an update video. And there's some questions that I got, but I don't want to spend 500 years looking for them. Let me check and see here. Most tricky way I've ever seen. Let's see. So as far as copying the UVs over, so I could have sworn in 2.79 that when I did this, there was a step for the UV seams that I did. Now I know that there's a UV add-on where you could copy the UVs, say from like this high poly over here. If we go to UV editing, and let me go ahead and press in here and go to view. I don't like that in the new Blender 2.8 that we have to change each view in each different area we're working in. I wish it was like that right off the bat. Let me go ahead and zoom out here. So you'll see that the UVs are here, which they're not even on. There we go. So you'll see that the UVs are here. Now I know that they're I don't know if it's out for 2.8 yet, but there was a copy UV deal plugin, I mean, inside of Blender, but I'm not sure if it's for 2.8, and you can just copy the UVs over. So I guess I'll go into that with you now. Oops, that's a pillow, sorry. So we still got to go through, and we'll need to go ahead and come into edit mode. Or actually, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and press Shift D, and we'll make a copy of this. And we'll turn this back on, and we will open the collection. And we'll take this comforter flat low and select this and press M on our keyboard, and we'll take a new collection, and we'll just name this comforter underscore flat underscore low underscore copy, just like that. And we'll give this its own collection. So, and we'll just work on this one. So what we need to do, we need to come over here to our modifiers tab, and we will apply this, and then we'll go into edit mode, vertex mode. And so now what we got to do is we got to select all the vertices. Okay, that is something that I did forget to mention, and I apologize for that. So let me go ahead and turn this back off. And then let's go back to the comforter flat high. Let me go ahead and click back on this, and we'll go back into the shape keys. And let's go ahead and make everything flat again and turn this back off. Then we'll come and select on the comfort flat low. And we'll turn wireframes back on. Well, actually, I guess we didn't need to do that, but let's go into edit mode. So what you want to make sure you have going on, because when we exported this, we exported it unwelded, right? So now the already conformed mesh that we exported out, we could probably export that welded, right? But we need these flat planes or the flat geometry to help us do our low poly. So what we need to make sure is wherever your edges need to connect, you need to have the same verts, the same vert count on each side. So like these need to connect here, and these need to connect here, right? So if we go ahead and highlight all these verts, it's 23 verts. And if we come over here, we need to make sure 23 verts on this side should be 23 verts, right? And on this side needs to be 23 verts. Now bottom is 24. Bottom there's 24. Top should be 24. Because this is just a square, and this should be 24. So all your edges need to match up on each piece of flat geometry that you have, right? So like I said, this is going to be an easy example. But if you need to know a harder example, I didn't go into it to that much detail, but maybe I will stream myself making some clothes here at some point. So let me go ahead. Actually, I could go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and open up a new instance of Blender 2.8 real quick. So I don't remember if this, did I save? So let me go ahead and turn. So I've just been messing around with some of the colors, so don't hate on the colors too much. Let's see. So we could go ahead and, so it's not so hard on your guys' eyes. I don't know what we got going on here. Where's this one? All right. So Let me go ahead and turn this one off. Let's see, dress. All right, so we got this all in one deal here. So let me go ahead and turn off all the rest of this stuff here. And hopefully I didn't bind this stuff already. I think I have a... Yeah, I did. Anyways, but as you see here, I had to make sure that all the verts aligned with one another here, right? So I had to make sure that all these on each, because this was two pieces of geometry, right? So I needed to make sure that those all had the same amount of vertices. And then up top here, I needed to make sure that these had the same on both pieces of flat geometry. And also here as well. Right? And then when we conformed them, because we're going to have to merge these vertices together. Right? So what I went ahead and did. And so this is just a project that I've been working on this Vroid just to see, I don't know, just to play around. So the weight painting ain't very well on this, which I'm sure if you guys watch some of my more recent streams, you've already seen this, but this is what I did for this too. So anyways, let's go ahead and close this out. Card changes. All right, so I'm hoping that point comes across to you guys. So let's see. Let's go ahead and turn off this copy here, and let's go back to the comforter low flat. So what we'll have to do here is we'll have to go back into vertex mode. And this is a little monotonous and a little boring. So you press Alt M, you could do a merge by distance, but it only does 3 vertices. If we go to mesh, see, I want to say that it's I'm not exactly sure where they put. It's got to be merge. See, because there used to be a remove doubles, right? And that's what we used to use to merge all of the vertices. But so if we do by distance and we come down here and we click on this merge by distance, and we just raise this distance up a little bit. You'll notice that some of these vertices are starting to get merged together now. So I think They may all be merged now, I think. So if we come up here and we select, say, one of these verts, yeah, it's all merged together. All right, so they're all merged together. So the question I got asked about it was about the UVs. So if we come back here and we go back to UV editing, you'll see if we select everything, we don't have UVs. So now, unfortunately, I'm not sure if there is an easy way to copy over the UVs from the other mesh, right? So now I know sometimes you have a lot of complex objects and things like that, and it's going to be a pain to go ahead and re-UV everything. But as of right now, the only thing that I know to do, so now right now I'm already noticing an issue. So let's go back over to the layout and let's go back into edit mode, and let's go ahead and we can either right click or you can press Alt M, and we're going to go ahead and merge vertices by distance, and then we're going to go back down to this distance here, and we are going to raise this distance up some more because there are some vertices that still up too much. So if you notice, it's merging some vertices up here that we don't want merged. So I've noticed under here, we need to pay attention to that. All right, so we don't want to merge any of those vertices. So if we come on this side, you'll notice that it won't merge all the vertices. So we're going to have to go ahead and merge these ourselves, right? So you could go ahead and press Alt M, press one vertex and then select the other, and then press Alt M, and we could do at last. And this one's not, so we'll press there and we'll press Alt M again, and we'll do at last. Alt M at last. And we just got to go ahead and go through these vertices here and make sure that they get merged. So like I said, this is a little monotonous task. Remove doubles didn't always work anyways. So you'd have to come through and do some final cleanup yourself as well. Oops. So it don't look like it got any of these verts over here. But like I said, you got to pay attention to all your mesh, because you don't want to be merging vertices when you do the merge distance or merge by distance, because you don't want to merge everything together, because it's just going to mess things up. So I'm going to go ahead and just merge these real quick. Oops. And it looks like on the other side there's some that didn't get merged as well. These got merged, thankfully. Looks like these got merged as well. So an easy way to check is if you alt click and it goes all the way around, your vertices are all merged. Alright, so now we can go back over to the UV editing real quick, and you'll see that all our verts are selected, except for right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and Alt-M that, and we'll do that at last. Now it looks like they're all merged. And then, so we'll press Control E, and we'll go ahead and mark the seam. And then we'll press A, highlight everything, we'll press U, and then we'll unwrap everything. So as you can tell, this is how you're gonna have to just come through on your new retopoed mesh and make your UVs. Like I said, I think there's a plugin to copy UVs over from one object to another. But I don't think that the I don't think that just the regular UV stuff in Blender has that, which kind of sucks. Um, but yeah, so and then you could go through here and you could do some cleanup. You could do follow the active quads if you want, or you could press SY0 and go through and do that and make it all squared if you'd like. But we could go ahead and select the UV islands here and GY. Now go ahead and move this UV island a little bit, and we'll go ahead and scale this guy down just a tad bit, and we'll go ahead and scale this guy down just a tad bit, and there you go. So now you got your UVs on your mesh, right? So now we could go ahead and take this out and go and do something like marvelous, or not marvelous, I'm sorry, into something like Marmoset or Substance Painter, and bake, right? Or we could even bake here inside of Blender, right? So what you'd want to do is you'd want to come over here and you'd want to switch your renders engine to cycles, right? And we're going to go to GPU, of course. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to go over to your shading, and we got to change the view here again. So just gonna make it something big and zoom out. Right, and all you want to do is you want to go Shift A, texture, image texture, right? And then we can come here and you'll want to create a new image, and you could just call this, I don't know, comforter underscore normal. Oops. NM for normal. That's a little low. Oops. We could do, I don't know, 2048 or something. It's totally up to you. And then you press that. Okay. Then you just add that normal to your baker right here. And then we come down. Oops. And when we come down here to. Where's it at? Again. Where is our baking settings? There it is. So we'll want to come to the scene, and then we can go to bake, and then you'll want to change your bake type to normal, and then we'll want to select selected to active, right? So we'll want to turn on the comforter high. So we'll want to select the high, and then we would want to select the low. So the high, select the high, just select the low. There we go. And we should probably go ahead and save this. And make sure that it don't need to be connected. You just want to go ahead and make sure that your image texture is select. Then we'll go ahead active to selective. And we could go ahead and turn the ray distance up to, like, I don't know, something. And we'll go ahead and you can just go ahead and click bake. And hopefully I set this up right. I've been baked inside of Blender in a very long time. So now we have some issues with this bake. And so you'd really need to make a cage. And what you'd want to do to make a cage is you'd want to copy your low poly and then go into, say, we go on the layout and we'll just go to the low poly flat, right? And we'll go ahead and shift D that guy. And we'll click on this one and we'll rename him to comforter underscore flat underscore cage. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and I will save this right here, and I will be back streaming maybe in like an hour or two. It is 5:57 p.m. Central Time Standard Time here, so I will be back. Let's say 8 o'clock this evening, and we will continue this there. I got some business that I need to take care of, so I will be back, and I will talk to you here in a little bit.